Well, in today's segment, we are going to teach you how to properly take soil samples. One of the most important things for gardening or farming is seeing what your soil is made out of and what you're lacking. And for that potential growth and good yield, you want to make sure that all the elements line up. So today will be an interesting little and quick tidbit on how to do a proper soil sample. So what you will need, honestly, are going to be three simple things. You're going to need one of your soil sample bags. You can pick these up at any extension office, and what's really great about this is you flip it over and it shows you exactly how to do a soil sample. It gives you specific instructions step by step. And you're going to need a bucket. Very important that the bucket is clean, so you want to wash it out beforehand. Make sure there's no residue in it, so you don't want to have anything get in the way of those soil tests and the results. And you're going to need a spade. I prefer one that has markings on it with inches, because you're going to want to get down to at least 6 inches below the original surface to get a good sample. So you'll just need these three tools, and then we'll show you what to do. So follow me into the garden here. So it's especially important when you're growing on brand new area. Each year you want to get a soil sample, even if you've been growing in certain areas all for 10 years, 20 years, what have you, because soil can change. But what we have here is a spot that we've just recently started to cut. We've tilled it up a number of times to get down, and as you'll see with the blue markers here behind me, these are the areas and the points that we are going to hit for our soil sample. So what we'll do is we'll get those all, I'll show you what step by step, and we'll go from there. It's going to be point number 1 right here. And as you can see, we have them spaced out throughout the entire area because we want to make sure that we're getting a good sample that's going to be consistent. And that way when the results come back, it'll all apply to this entire area. Bigger areas, when you're doing acreage, you can actually pinpoint it where you know that certain areas will need more of something than other. But for us, we're pretty confident that this will all take the same nutrient level or whatever comes back with the deficiency. So follow me and let's get started. All right, so with your spade, you're gonna go deep, you're gonna go down. This is still a little tough because it is fresh earth here, but I like to pull off the first couple top layers and then push down and then really kind of get in there to pull up that dirt. And to get that first one, you're gonna put it in your bucket. I like to chop up any clumps here and there. Now the important thing too, you're not gonna get a clean sample without having some debris in it, some sticks or some leaves. That's fine. You just don't want to have a lot of it. So you want to be able to remove some of it, but for the most part, you'll still have enough to get a good sample. So let's come over here for our next point. Again, I like to move the top layer and then just kind of get down in here like so, a good 6 inches or so. That was probably about 5 inches, and then we'll go from there. All right, so here is our bucket with everything in it from our 8 different points. And what you'll do now is you want to take your same tool and you want to start mixing everything up. All right, so now what you want to do is you want to take your bag and you need to complete it. I always like to do this first before you put the dirt in. It's a little bit harder to write on. So what you will do is you want to put your email address up top, because I like to have our results emailed to us. It's just a lot faster. So your sample ID. So for us, we named that garden space A2 because we have an A1, and you want to go and order it. And you also want to be able to have it so when the sample ID comes back on the soil test sheet, you know what that goes to, which area you pulled that soil from. And then you'll put your name, and then your address, city, state, zip code, the crops. On here, I always put just garden veggies because that's really what we are growing. And then your county, so Spartanburg. And then our address here. All right, so now once we have it all filled out, you want to open the bag up. you're going to take your bucket here, which you have, and as you can see, these are samples that we've already pulled from our areas. I do like to try to get as much of the debris out as I can, because you want to have the best sample as possible. And after we've mixed this up, we're going to take it and we're going to put it in the bag. Now the good thing is it tells you it's right here, fill to line. So you'll do that. Now what we'll do once we get all of our samples done, we'll take them to our local extension office, and then they'll take these and take them to the testing site at Clemson University for us, since we are in upstate in South Carolina. So they'll take those. So once you have that set, you're ready to go, and that's a good sample right there. So now that we finished our sample, so you want to knock off any excess in your bucket here, and I'll actually throw the dirt that we pull back into the areas. But since we still have more samples to pull, you need to have a clean tool, because you don't want to have any cross-contamination, and that might disrupt your soil test. So after that, I knock off all the dirt as much as I can, just kind of wipe it down like so, and then I will take a bucket. Alright, so then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a bucket for each area that you're trying to pull from, and then always have a bucket of water here, and then once I get it off there, and then I just try to use a clean part of my shirt and dry it off, and off to the next one. So in short, that's how you take a soil sample.